Let's move on to the running back position. You ready for that?
Let's run it.
Let's run it. We have Javonte Williams. I will say we said it last week. Once Javonte Williams goes and plays on that primetime game without Melvin Gordon, like it's people going to be on his radar, and it feels like that, right?
I mean, yeah, we called it the Javonte Williams like coming out show.
Yeah.
Because I know, decent amount of people know who he was. Some
There's
people maybe
decent amount
didn't.
of people who kind of know.
And obviously he was kind of sharing the workload with Melvin Gordon. So, you've kind of seen flashes of him, oh, okay, it's a rookie running back coming in. Yeah, I'm saying, but you got to see what he was fully capable of. I mean, the guy came out and he was the number one running back on the week. Got you 102 rushing yards, another 76 yards through the air. Kind of gets you a junk time, garbage time receiving touchdown. But hey, like I said, those are fantasy points for my team, whether they're scored in the first quarter or in the last 2 minutes of the game. I'll take them all day, every day. Melvin Gordon is supposed to be coming back off the injury this week, but, it's kind of, we're getting to that point where it's Melvin Gordon's kind of older. He is kind of coming off an injury. Javonte Williams just lit the world on fire last week. I think you got to just keep feeding the hot hand here if I'm the Denver Broncos and Vic Fangio. And it's you're going to mix it in. But instead of being this 50-50 split, I might start turning the tide to more of a 60-40 split in terms of Javonte because just of how young he is and how fresh he is. And when you watch him run the ball, my nickname for him is the human truck stick because, the guy he just runs through people.
I mean, he played linebacker back in the day, so it makes sense why Javonte is kind of, this kind of brute old school running back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think you could play just the fact that he can get yards after contact. He's a guy I think you could start even with the limited touches, if he does have Melvin Gordon coming back in.
Yeah.
But let's go on to the next running back. We got Deontay Foreman. Deontay Foreman for the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, there's a lot of movement after Derrick Henry goes out, but the Tennessee Titans are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars at home this week. Sell me on this one. Start that man, Deontay Foreman, because I know it's there's a couple different guys that have been doing pretty good over there.
Yeah, this is more of a back-end RB2 here. I mean, if you got Elijah Mitchell, he's sitting out. Maybe you had Mark Ingram, you're kind of playing him here and there. He's out, obviously. So, you got a couple of injuries, couple players on buys. Yeah, I mean, you got the Patriots running backs on buys. Jonathan Taylor's on a buy. Myles Gaskins on a buy. Finally Miles Sanders had a good game, but he's on a buy as well. So, you have some injuries, and you got some running backs on a bye week here. So you might be looking just to fill that void to, find a running back who you can feel comfortable playing. But, if I did have Donta Foreman, I would feel comfortable playing him. The Jags have allowed 125 or more rushing yards in 3 of their last 4 games, so not very good. We're getting towards that point in the season where teams know they're not good. They know they're not going to make the playoffs. There's just really no incentive for them to go balls to the wall, and play their heart out unless they're I guess they're in a contract here and they're trying to earn some money here. It's kind of, I feel like sometimes these teams are just kind of going through the motion. And then as soon as they start to lose, they're just oh, well, here it goes again. We've been losing for 3 months. Here it goes again. And they're just kind of they just kind of wave the white flag. And like I said, they're just trying to get through the game healthy and just going through the motions. But yeah, the Jaguars' rush defense, not very good over the last month. And last game, Donta Foreman, 19 rushes for 109 yards. Now, I know him and Helaire were splitting the ball 50-50. Helaire breaks off the long, 68, 70-yard touchdown run last week. But minus that, if you want to ask me who personally I thought was the best-looking running back, it was Donta Foreman, not Helaire. Yep. The Jags have also given up the 5th most rushing touchdowns to opposing teams. So this is a game where the Titans are coming off a bye. They're at home against a subpar Jacksonville defense, in my opinion, who have kind of, like I said, just waving the white flag. I think the Titans get up early and they kind of lean on the run game more towards the second half, which means more Donta Foreman. And then when they get in close, he's going to be the goal line back, in my opinion, not Helaire.
Right. Interesting. Good insight on Deontay Foreman. Donta. Let's go on to the next one here. We got Clyde EdwardsHelaire. Obviously, Clyde Edwards departed for a decent while during the fantasy football season, but he is back and not putting up anything crazy this past week. But actually, I think he put up better numbers than Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
I mean, yeah, he's looked okay. You know, if you saw the injury back in, I can't remember what it was, week 6 or something like that. Or, he got, his knee just gets like buckled underneath him, and it looked bad. If you saw, you're like, oh, he tore his ACL. He probably tore everything in his knee because of the way he just got bent like a pretzel. But he comes back, and in the last 2 games that he's come back, he's had 14 and 17 total touches in those games, averaging 79 yards. 79 scrimmage yards in those 2 games. So kind of giving you a safe floor in terms of the scrimmage yardage area, at least. This week they're at home against the Raiders. Raiders defense, at least their rush defense, not very good. They're allowing 4.3 yards per carry. And one stat that I really liked, hashtag interesting stat right here, the Chiefs rank number 1. So the Chiefs they have the best for this category. They are the best team in terms of yards before contact. So that means that their offensive lineman is getting them positive yardage before the running back even gets contacted. So
nice.
You definitely like seeing that for a guy like CEH. Darrell Williams is probably a sneaky flex option, or if they're just desperate at RB2, he probably can get you some sneaky points as well, Darrell Williams. But yeah, I like CEH this week against the Raiders at home, so dialing him up.
Yeah, love it. CEH, stat him. All right, this is sleeper start for you. Hello there. Hey, listen, right now, I know we talk about them a lot, but Underdog Fantasy, it has a really good deal right now. It's a player pick'em app. It's a DFS app. It's very similar to DraftKings or FanDuel, but this is better. It's brand new, very easy to use interface. But if you download the app right now and use promo code AVG, they used to hook up with $10 with your first deposit. Right now, they're matching you up to $100. So if you put $100 in the app right now on your first deposit, you will get an extra $100 to play around with. They got player pick'ems. You can even do a private match inside Underdog Fantasy. It's pretty dope. So you can challenge people and whatnot. You don't have to maintain a team for all year. So you can just draft your team, play that week, draft the next team next week. You could do it daily in a Thursday night game as well. So go check it out. Tons of prizes. Free $100. Come on, sign up. It's the best. And use promo code AVG. Now back to your video. Got Amir Abdullah. Is this because you picked up Abdullah Amlagada? You picked him up in your league and you're like, dude, I'm going to tell everybody what I'm doing.
Yeah, so I feel like not too many people have been talking about Amir Abdullah. And I just, want to throw him in here. He is kind of like a sleeper, sneaky start here. Or maybe let's just say, hey, you don't need to play him. Or you're like, I don't feel too confident. I need to see it first. Maybe just go out and grab him. I always say it all the time. I'd rather have Amir Abdullah go off for 20 points on my bench instead of him, my opponent picks him up and now he scores 20 points and now my opponent beats me because Amir Abdullah helped him beat me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we don't know what to expect here. CMC's out for the rest of the year. You have Chuba Hubbard. You have Amir Abdullah. Who's it going to be? We haven't really seen it. The only thing we've seen is that last week or the last time they were on the field a couple weeks ago against Miami when CMC went out, Amir Abdullah outsnapped Chuba Hubbard. It was 49% Amir Abdullah, 20% Chuba Hubbard. And for what it's worth, I don't know, I've read some reports that Matt Rule just really likes Amir Abdullah, and I feel like he just kind of fits more of his system of what he's trying to be. I guess you could say he's more of a Christian McCaffrey-esque type of back because he has that catching ability, where Chuba Hubbard's not really known for his pass catching ability. He's more of a straight line sprinter kind of guy. But since week 8, that's when Amir Abdullah got there with the Carolina Panthers. He's slowly been out-snapping Chuba Hubbard, and he's out-snapped him in 3 of the last 4 games that they've played together. So I think a lot of people are thinking that Chuba Hubbard's going to be the guy in this offense going forward, but I low-key think it's going to be Amir Abdullah who emerges as the running back you really want to own in this Carolina Panthers offense going forward. So, just a sneaky play, sneaky ad, just throwing it out there for people to have put it on your radar.
Yeah, you gotta pay attention to these things. Even this far into the season, it's very important. So that's why we're telling you, Amir Abdullah. Did you see that notification?
With Demaryius Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Demaryius Thomas passed away.
Yeah.
33 years young.
That's pretty young.
R.I.P.
Old for the NFL, but young for person.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and sit that boy, Mike Davis. Yes, Mike Davis. I mean, is this You're sitting Mike Davis, right? That's what you. I mean, you said fade everybody on the Falcons. You definitely got to fade Mike Davis.
Yeah, I just threw him in here because it's like maybe people might be thinking like, oh, he scored a touchdown against the Bucs last week, and like maybe
do you know why?
Maybe now I can play him, and it's like,
do you know?
Nah.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it, yeah.
Because Cordero like ran freaking like 40 yards, 50 yards on the play right before, so they're like, oh, take a breather, and then like Mike Davis snuck off like 30 yards and scored.
I'll give it to Mike Davis. It was a good run. Hit a run to the left side on the outside, bounced it, and then hit the corner, and it was almost like the farthest he could run was like 28 yards, but that's exactly as far as he needed to run to just hit the pylon to score a touchdown because he wasn't getting any further than where he got.
No, you're right.
But yeah, it was a good run here, but. I just wouldn't be comfortable playing Mike Davis. I don't even know if he's rosterable at this point. I mean,
I dropped him.
Yeah, since the week 6 bye, he hasn't had 10 or more carries in any single game. I mean, he's only topped 50 rushing yards once all season. So, yeah, don't think like, oh, Mike Davis finally got in the end zone. Like,
right. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah, it's let's not get cute here.
Yeah. Okay, we can move on to sit that boy Devin Singletary.
Yeah, this was more for like the Buffalo Bills running backs.
They don't run it enough.
Yeah,
it's pass first offense. I mean, we can't honestly. I will admit we can't get this backfield figured out, and this is when I start to abandon even looking at backfields when there's not enough opportunity. There's too many people to hands to feed. It's too much. I think this is one of those backfields you just got to avoid. Because whether it was Zach Moss or Devin Singletary, it's just like, and then then randomly, what was it, Isaiah or
Matt Breida, couple good games.
It's just it's just so random. I mean, you can't predict it anymore. So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Devin Singletary. I'm avoiding it. I'm not chasing any numbers with the Bills running backs too. That's it.
No, yeah, I agree.
Me out.
Yeah,
I'll play Deontay Foreman
Bills running
over
backs,
any of these
guys.
Cut
it out.
Yeah, I'll play any of these. I played Deontay Foreman. Any of these guys, I would probably play Helaire over these guys. To be honest,
I mean, yeah, it's not a bad. It's just hard to predict who is going to be.
No.
Like you said, because it's like
you can't.
It's not even 2 running backs. It's 3 running backs now with Breida in the mix. That you're trying to figure out who the running back is that's going to put up points here. And especially when it's, their quarterback is. A very capable running back in his own right, Josh Allen. So,
nobody's
we're out. We're out on the Bills running backs.
This past week. Nobody's over the 50% mark. You got Devin Singletary at 48%, but before that, I mean, he had 68% the week before, but that's because Zach Moss was like a healthy scratch or he was out. I can't remember. But then it's like 38%. Nobody's ever going over 50%, and that's like for me. That's what I look for running backs on snap counts, and you can't get anywhere. So I'm with you. Bills running backs, fade them. Hey, did you like that video? No, not the one of Big Ben completely eating shit when nobody even touched him. I'm talking about our fantasy football video we just did. You just watched. Well, guess what? That was just a clip from the full audio podcast. So if you want to check out the whole thing, links down below. AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify. All of them. Anywhere you can get audio podcasts, we're there. Go ahead and check it out. And if you don't want to look at your fantasy team to look the way Big Ben does right here, wait for it. Come on, replay. This is your fantasy team. But that won't be your fantasy team if you subscribe to AVG Fantasy Football. So go ahead, subscribe and like this video. Subscribe to the channel and like.